this issue of state rights is particularly pressing given what's going on in Washington, D.C. We understand what is the reason for the 10th Amendment, what is its history, and
it's as a clear reminder that the federal government is one of enumerated and intended by the founders. We've forgotten not just the purpose and meaning of the 10th Amendment, but the reality that we do have a Constitution that provides for certain limited, enumerated powers by the federal government, and that those powers that are not specifically enumerated are clearly reserved for the states.
You're afraid of the future. He said, then get out of the way and stand aside, because the people of this country are on the move again, and that's why you're here today. Thank you for coming.
I'm the chairman of Leavenworth County Republican Party, so we're here. Olathe Republican Party. Sunflower Republican Party. Americans for Prosperity. November Patriots. Campaign for Liberty. Hope for America. Liberty Restoration Project. We the People Foundation. Coalition of Citizens Advocacy Group, Citizens Against Illegal Immigration.
Well, y'all are way too excited for a chilly Wednesday morning. Establish a system of government of decentralized power that would be the antidote to the kind of oppression that the colonists suffered under British rule. And so they decentralized power, and they created a system of a limited central government, very limited. As James Madison would explain in the Federalist Papers, the powers of the federal government are very few and very defined. The powers of the state governments are numerous and indefinite. And that was the scheme they created. And then for about 130 years, everything worked just fine. Until all of a sudden we saw states' rights being eroded step by step. And in my opinion, there were 4 critical steps in the erosion of states' rights. The first one was with the 17th Amendment. That, I think, is one of the most pivotal points in this whole step. Because the direct election of senators, while it was a very good thing and it made our senators accountable to the people, it did have a cost. And that was that the Senate used to be appointed by state legislatures. And as a result, senators were the guardians of state power. You couldn't get anything past the U.S. Senate that would take away power from state governments. So we had a cost there. Now, if that's all we'd done, we'd still be in fine shape today. But then 1933 came along, and FDR's New Deal. You know what happened in 1987? This is a tough one. Supreme Court case. South Dakota versus Dole. The United States Supreme Court gave a green light to Congress to hold the state's blackmail by using federal funds. That was a case over the use of denial of federal funds to force a uniform drinking age on the United States, which reasonable people can agree on. But the principle was that Congress shouldn't be able to hold the states hostage by withholding federal funds. Well, the Supreme Court said that's just fine. That was step number 3. And here we are at point number 4, 2009. Barack Obama and his Congress presiding over the greatest expansion and centralization of federal power in our country's history. Do you realize that in the first 6 weeks of the Obama administration and this Congress, they have accumulated more federal debt than every single president from George Washington to George W. Bush combined? That is a scandal. And that centralization of federal spending is a centralization of federal power, and it increases the ability of Congress to hold the states hostage. So it is absolutely critical that we recognize where we are today. Notice now, and wouldn't care. What we have noticed, and we do care. Pay no attention to what's going on here in Washington. Look over there. Rush Limbaugh and Michael Steele are fighting. Pay attention to them. Well, that worked for about a week, and now today it's a new distraction. Oh, pay no attention to the size of government. Look over there. Look at those big bonuses that the executives are getting at AIG. Never mind that it's only 0.1% of the total bailout to AIG. But look over there. That's the problem. All of this false pomp and this outrage that they've known about these bonuses for months now. They want us to get distracted. And I'm just here to say that the fact that all of you are standing here is evidence that we will not get distracted. We did notice, we do care, and we recognize that we are standing at a crossroads in history, and we are shouting, stop.
I laughed when people made that statement. I said, sovereign state, I thought we were one nation under God. Why do states need to be sovereign? But now, seeing the dictatorial actions of our national government, I understand. I put away my childish ways. It is a very serious matter to be the sovereign state of Kansas.
And number 10, the reason we're here, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states, respectively, or to the people. Get people involved. I fondly like to say that when you get involved, if you get involved, you will get busy, and if you get busy, you will get excited. Excitement draws people to you.
I'm co-founder, president, and lobbyist for the Citizens Against Illegal Immigration, Topeka. I'm going to toot my own horn here, and I'd like to expand on what Chris and the other speaker have said this morning.
Hello. I just wanted to encourage you all to get involved with the Glenn Beck special that was on. I'm just a citizen, and I was listening to him, and I decided I have to do something. So I just went out and rented a room, and I had gone to a protest the week before, and I got email addresses, and I just started sending emails out to people after I got the room established. And the response was phenomenal. I had 115 people show up at this event, and it was a marvelous time for us to wake people up and make sure that they know what road our country is going down. We are headed towards socialism, and we have to get it turned back around for the people.